Modern self-improvement and productivity are broken, and I've finally found out why. What used to be the ultimate advantage of our generation, the internet, and being able to access insights from the best minds around the world for free, has turned into a devastating detriment because we ignored everything else that would come with it. The benefits that the internet gave us were overshadowed by the negative use of social media, video games, and even more degenerate inventions. After spending 8+ hours a day myself, using my focus and skills to improve characters in a game while my real life crumbled around me, I finally realized that I could use the same game design principles that developers use to suck our energy and attention out of us, and instead use them as our greatest advantage in both self-improvement and productivity. You might be thinking that I'm going to say gamification is the solution, but that is the biggest mistake I ever made. But we'll cover that later because first we need to address the 3 main problems that we face. Self-improvement overwhelm, a lack of systemized solutions, and feeling like you can never get ahead. My name is Michael, and I spent the last 5 years creating 3 core frameworks that solve each of these problems by applying the knowledge that I've gathered from best-selling self-improvement books and have packaged it all into an actionable system, a Notion-based app called Life Game Design. If you just take a glance at self-improvement, you'll be assured that life is the most complex game that you have ever tried to play. There is so much you could be doing right now, so much to be learning, and you cannot keep up with every single Andrew Huberman or Modern Wisdom podcast release, and that will constantly make you feel like you're behind. Which is why we need a system to understand, organize, and optimize every area of our life so we know what to save for later and what to focus on now. The second is that while everyone knows from James Clear that we don't rise to the level of our goals, but we fall to the level of our systems, no one has created a digitized self-improvement system. Just because you have a project or task manager, a second brain, or even a fancy and expensive Life OS doesn't mean your life will be organized. Those systems, apps, or notebooks don't guide and gamify the user experience of managing your days, weeks, months, and even years. I learned in my career as a professional chef that even if you have the best ingredients in the world, it doesn't guarantee that you will create the best dish you can. Because the difference between a souffle and burnt eggs is a recipe, or in this case, a system. It's also why in games with these systems, you can spend hours building characters or managing inventories, but when it comes to your own life, it seems like a chore you constantly procrastinate on. All of the current solutions lack the genius of game design. We need the equivalent of a gameplay loop for life that gamifies and guides us through the process of designing and improving our lives that is both aesthetic, functional, and rewarding to play. And the last and most prevalent problem that I see, even from people who do become successful, is that everyone is underestimating their achievements. And that's why they lack self-confidence, and that's exactly why Alex Hormozi went viral with this quote.
There's a tweet that I made. Actually, you were the one who made it go viral, right? Which was...
when you quoted me quoting you, David Goggins. There's this quote from one of my friends, Alex Hormozi, that says, "You don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt."
Yes. That's
nailed.
Nailed.
Completely nailed.
When I heard this, I absolutely loved it, but the saddest thing about what he said is that literally no one has created a digitized system to live by this philosophy. That's why we need a place to take pride in our achievements separate from social media, and by combining the previous 2 frameworks into an actionable system, just by playing the game of managing and improving our lives, at the same time we also build an undeniable stack of proof of our achievements so we can gain insights on how to create a better life design. But there's one extra problem that I've actually created and I haven't addressed. Because all of these frameworks have been seamlessly built into a Notion-based app, that means you have to learn Notion to be able to use them. And if you've tried that before, you've been drowned in 1 to 3 hour long YouTube tutorials that either go way too fast or just completely bore you. The best thing about learning complex systems in games is that it doesn't feel like taking an exam. You literally learn them from playing the game. I've created the first free and gamified Notion tutorial tutorial course that will take you from zero to Notion Hero in less than an hour. You'll be guided through understanding how databases work, how to navigate your workspace, and even build the skills to confidently create your own areas, projects, tasks, and notes, and be able to tie them all together. I've broken the Life Game Design app into 3 tiers: Light, Pro, and Ultra. To summarize the differences, Light gives you everything you need to manage your day-to-day life, which is what we'll cover in the tour. Pro gives you the advantage of being able to plan your weeks and includes all vision and focus minigames, including some extra dashboards. And Ultra is unrestricted access to every minigame and dashboard, and even comes with a personalized analytics coach using Notion formulas to help you create the ultimate life design. Okay, here we are in Life Game Design Lite. This is what you're going to see the first thing, and it's exactly what I mentioned, the Notion tutorial course, but we're going to get rid of that because you'll delete that once you finish it. So this is what it's actually going to look like once you've finished. You can click this information. This is the mini guide here. You'll learn more about this soon, but to get back to the tutorial, you can use this page, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll find this everywhere. Using these buttons at the top here, we can navigate the main dashboards, and they intuitively tell us where we are within the app. And they also evolve once you go deeper within them. I'll show you what that looks like when we go to our short-term dashboards. And this will show us everything, what we have coming up in terms of periods of days. So we've got today, this week, and this month. So if we go into today, we'll see that now this system has evolved. We can click this link to go back to short-term dashboards, to go back to this view. But if we go into here, then we can see a dashboard of today, but we can go even deeper into seeing today's achievements, today's projects, today's tasks, and notes as well. But let's go back to the short-term dashboards. And if we click back to dashboards home here, we can come back to this main menu dash, but I've also got this icon menu bar up here. You'll learn about exactly how to use it in the tutorial, but over here, the game icon is your home dashboard, the same as clicking this button right here. So if I click this, you've got the home dashboard. If I click this button here, it will take me to the phone dashboards. And obviously it's not going to look that pretty on desktop, but I'll show you a video of what it looks like on your phone. And basically this is how you update the app day to day. And it uses the same button system. So this is my today dashboard for my phone. And if I go into today's projects, it'll show me that now I'm in today's projects instead of the dashboards, and I can do the same with tasks and notes. So I can see my highlight for the day, I can see all of the projects that I have on for today, and I even have a quick project capture that I can click to quickly add new projects, like going to the gym. I can quickly exit out of that, use these buttons to go back to the main dashboards, and go back to the homepage. One thing I emphasize within the app is that you don't have to remember all of the frameworks off by heart to be able to use this. I included what are called the mini guides over here, and you'll see them in many pages throughout Life Game Design, and they give you in-depth infographics and systems on how to use everything that's been simplified like this. You can also have in-depth views of what these things are, and also video guides for most of the more complicated concepts that you'll be able to see. And you can increase or decrease the playback speed, pause whenever you want, and they all come in context. So if I open my projects here and I open this toggle, now I can see all of the mini guides that are relevant to organizing my projects. I can see the projects mini guide here, so I can understand what projects are. I can see an in-depth guide, so I can step by step understand how I should understand my projects using all of these different frameworks like this, and by opening the toggles. And I can also navigate all of this without leaving the page that I was just on. So that makes everything very streamlined and really accessible. And so you can pick this app up whenever you need, and you won't feel like you're behind. So I'll quickly show you what the Notion tutorials look like. So if I go to the bottom of the mini guides, I'm going to click here to go to the Notion tutorial course. And now I can see there are 3 levels to this Notion tutorial course. Well, really there's 3 stages. Within each course, if I click it, you'll see here, I'll be guiding you through the use of these buttons through every single step. And I've actually broken every single course into a whole bunch of levels so that everything is just extremely bite-sized and it's not overwhelming at all. It will do exactly what video games do and pace your learning and skill and building experience to be able to have confidence in each step you take. So everything, like I said here, since we'll be learning about complex topics that sound complex, I've broken everything down into bite-sized levels. And so you start, every time you click on the start button, you come to the start page. You don't even have to learn anything yet. You're just going to see what you're going to do. And then you can get straight stuck into level 1. And if you go into level 1, then you'll understand things like the overarching topics of this, and it will guide you step by step through understanding these things. And if I go back to the start, you'll also see something really cool. You'll see these cheat codes. So if you end up doing this a second time, in a way, you can either speed run these tutorials or you can completely skip them if you've already had a previous version of Life Game Design and you know all of the concepts of projects, tasks, notes, and areas, and even the OctaCore framework. But this is designed to basically drip feed an interactive experience in how to use Life Game Design to make it the best experience possible. One thing is that we don't use the sidebar in Life Game Design because I've designed it to be navigated without it. And also, we use Life Game Design in dark mode because once you stack your achievements, that we'll see soon, it looks best like that. So now we're back in the home dashboards, and I want to talk to you about the first framework, OctaCore, that solves the first problem that I talked about at the start, self-development overwhelm. All right, let's dive into the OctaCore section and click this button to be taken to be shown what OctaCore is. Basically, these are the 8 different areas of life we need to understand and organize in order to build a fulfilling life. And I think a lot of people will look at this and think, oh my God, this is such a complex system. There's 8 different areas of life that I need to manage, or I need to understand all of these. Basically, what I've found in a lot of self-development systems is that they try to oversimplify life into, let's say, like 3 or 4 core areas. And the problem with that is that, think of the games we play. In Fallout, which is a single game that has a lot of complexity, it has a attribute system that gives you 7 different categories of things that you need to improve. And think about how much more complex life itself is compared to a single game like Fallout. Now, the problem that you run into with oversimplifying the life areas is that, 1, you have less areas of life that you can find and track achievement in, but 2, the more simplified you make an extremely complex system, the more work you actually have to put in to organize it. So think of the difference between organizing areas, projects, tasks, and notes in Apple Notes versus managing them in Notion. Sure, Notion is a much more complex system than Apple Notes, but if I tried to organize my whole life just within Apple Notes, I have to put in so much work just to make that simple system work. And so we apply the same philosophy of game design and apply it to life. So these are OctaCore attributes. You have your physical health, which is everything to do with strength, persistence, which is everything to do with life admin, experience, everything to do with leisure, creativity, anything that you do as a creative outlet, contribution is your work, intelligence is any learning you do, attachment is your close relationships, and life force is both mental health and spirituality. The best part about the system is that you don't have to remember it off by heart because you have the mini guides that will remind you of this system. Over here, if I open this, you've got the OctaCore mini guide that will summarize all this stuff, give you in depth, and I even have a dedicated video on how I use OctaCore in all different areas of life in terms of areas, projects, tasks, and notes, and you can watch that here. Going back to this system and how it works in Life Game Design is that each of these are identical and they follow the same layout as this icon menu bar. Each of these pages is one of these icons. So if I click into strength, I can see the layout of it. I can see that we have the main dashboard here, and this OctaCore button will be colored depending on which area of life we're managing. And the best thing about this is that once you aggregate a whole bunch of achievements within a specific area of life, like strength, and this will aggregate everything. Let's say I'm both into running and weightlifting. I don't have to see those things separately. I can see everything that I've done to build up my strength, to build up my physical health, all in one place. Pretty much the coolest feature. You can also manage all of your projects to do with strength and keep them away from things like planning your holidays or planning work things or whatever learning you're doing. So it helps you separate these life areas. And I've also have a podcast explaining how you can manage these things by doing a year reflection with all of my friends. And by doing that, basically I've helped them uncover one of the most fulfilling memories they have in all of these different areas of life. And by doing that, you kind of intuitively understand what OctaCore is about and how it can help you overcome the self-improvement overwhelm that you get. Because if you think about it, if you go on YouTube, you're going to see people talk about all of these different topics in OctaCore, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I need to learn everything all at once. What I teach you in the OctaCore course that you'll see in the mini games later is that you can choose one specific area to be your focus area. For you, I've set that as the default to intelligence because you're learning about life game design, you're learning about Notion. And once you have that set, you can feel comfortable in ignoring all the other things that you have going on and just hone in on this one thing. Again, the OctaCore course will teach you the nuance of this and how to select your own areas, which is also a gamified section of the mini games in the focus intention game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to show you a little bit more in depth of the intelligence page because then we can see the areas. So you can have an area like Notion here. You might have what I would put as like video editing, DaVinci Resolve. But again, you can see all of the achievements that you have within here. So in terms of intelligence, I want to put all the books that I've read, podcasts I've listened to, insights I've gained, assignments that I've done for like school or university, whatever. And then I can manage all the projects that I've got going on as well. You'll see that you've got the Notion course is its own project. So as you complete the Notion course, I get you to complete tasks and projects within it, and they actually become a part of your achievements board at the end. And so it's identical with tasks. And down here in notes, you have the same thing. You can aggregate all of the knowledge that you have in your life and keep it here. You also have URLs. And the same thing with your focus. You've got a focus section. You can just see where your links are. And this is really cool. You can see any projects that are in focus and it will show you the notes attached to them. So that's how the OctaCore pages are all identically laid out. And by doing this, like I said, you can keep track of all of the areas of life that you're improving in and keep them separate from each other while also understanding how connected they are. So that's the main benefit of OctaCore. The next thing that I want to show you is the achievement section, which covers the other problem in the fact that you feel like you're behind everyone else and you don't appreciate everything that you've achieved. So we'll go to that in the next section. Okay, going from OctaCore into the achievements section. Now, this is where we, like I said, take pride of the undeniable stack of proof that we've been building, that we are the person who we say we are. And the coolest thing about tying these two frameworks of both OctaCore and the achievement system together is that not only we get a massive benefit of seeing all the things that we've done, even things that people wouldn't track and think are like mundane but actually provide a huge benefit, doing things like meal prep, like redesigning your room and all those kind of things, and other things that you do for leisure like playing games or watching anime, and see how they affect whether you're able to continue things that really fulfill you and whether they're actually draining you of your energy. That's probably the biggest benefit that you'll get out of this. But the coolest thing is that you'll intuitively see how you feel about your life once you plug in OctaCore into it. Because by looking at this, if I scroll down, I can see, okay, I've been like watching a lot of stuff and I've been playing games, whatever. For some people, that can help, but for some people, it's a detriment. I'm not here to tell you whether video games are something that you are going to find fulfillment from or something that is holding you back from being the person that you want to be. But understanding and intuitively knowing things about yourself, whether doing this has stopped you from going to the gym or whether doing this has encouraged you to go to the gym, like if you're watching Dragon Ball Z, definitely got that hype. there's a difference. And so you've got all of these influences telling you black and white what your life is. But the thing is, you can't listen to it unless you actually take account of your own life and figure out where your focus is and understand how your life is going. And how your life is going to be the next system. It's going to be this tier list over here. So let me break it down for you. Basically, this will show you the most memorable and fulfilling memories that you've ever had. And think about it. When you play games and you find a playstyle that you love, you work so hard to be able to do more and more of it. And that's exactly what we need to find in life. So every achievement starts at bronze here. And so basic things like meal prep or whatever are going to end up in bronze. But then if something really, resonates with you, maybe this hour of meditation is something that was just a bit better than normal, this will end up showing in your highlights, You'll see that, okay, if things are silver, like these were a bit more enjoyable, or I'm a bit more proud of these things that I did. And it will show you, like, let's say you were playing Skyrim, I doubt it, but like, let's say it was pretty like mediocre. Maybe you're like 30th time doing a playthrough or something becomes like more mediocre to you. And now you can realize this by doing this. And you're like, okay, if it's not a gold or a diamond achievement, like why am I spending my time on this? Why am I spending my time, attention, and energy on this? But the coolest thing is that you'll get to see the things that really resonate with you. Maybe doing Skyrim or God of War, like whatever. Maybe this work project is something that I'm so proud of and I want to do, more work on it. So I'm going to play less or whatever. There's so much context to this, but the coolest thing is these diamond achievements. It's going to show you your most memorable memories in your whole life. And so the more you collect, the more that you can show yourself who you are and what you're doing and what that says about your values and what that says about what you want to achieve for the future. So let's take a look at this navigation menu. This achievements, this is the default. And if I go into OctaCore, again, you'll see the dashboard navigation system evolve. And you'll understand that if I go back now, you understand that these 4 main views are more in-depth views of everything that we're seeing down here. So we've got the OctaCore breakdown, the tier list breakdown, and just a view of our task achievements. So if I go into OctaCore, we can see that the main menu has evolved. We've got the OctaCore, which we're in now, the tier list over here, tasks here, and the main achievements here. And for the OctaCore achievements, now we can see just the board, but we can also see a gallery view of these things, and we can see in-depth views if we choose to go there. But what's really cool is that you can break these down into more granular levels. So you've got your tier list, which is just the tier list. You can see it in a literal list as well over here. But if I go into, let's say, silver, that means that I can break down, see all of just the silver achievements and see just my silver achievements for the year. If I haven't set a date, then I can do that really quickly and it will show. Say I use this for quite a long time and I can see what I did last year compared to what I did this year. And that's probably the best way of reflecting, not having some boring ass like PDF that tells you like, oh, what are the like top 3 things you did last year, blah blah blah. You already have it here. It's already intuitive just by playing the game of managing your life. And so you've got the same for OctaCore. You can see your OctaCore breakdown of all your silver achievements, and you can do the same for diamond and gold. The thing with task achievements is that they don't have cover photos, and what tasks are really for is to break down your big projects into smaller and smaller goals. Basically, we want to be the game designers of our own lives, and so to get these big projects done over here, we need to open them up and we need to design them. We need to add sub-projects as like milestones or tasks to break down all of these things into small, simple steps to be able to achieve them. And that's why games are so addicting. It's because game designers spend the time to break all of these quests or whatever down into extremely small steps. So it's so easy to start and it's really hard to stop. And you want to do the same with your own life. I'm going to very briefly show you a bit more about these dashboards over here. You've got your main area, projects, tasks, and notes dashboards. So if I go into projects and tasks, which is what you get with the light version, you can see just simplified dashboards of your projects, and it's the same with tasks. And like I said, this menu evolves, but what you see here is that along all of these things, they're like really identical. So you don't have to learn like all of these views. You learn one thing and you learn 4 things all at once, basically. So you go back here Let's check out utility dashboards. These are for things like overdue, a capture page. You've got vision dashboards, what we'll see in the minigames later, and a archive. I'm not going to dive into there. You can check those out yourself. I go into short-term dashboards. We saw that just a bit ago. And so you can see what you were doing yesterday. You can see yesterday's dashboards, see yesterday's achievements if you've made them. Go back to the short term. Same with today and same with tomorrow. So I'll just go into today really quickly. Like I said, you've got this quick dashboard here that shows you the evolving menu. And this is really cool to kind of just see without doing the mini game itself, just going in here and saying like, okay, what do I got to do today real quick? This is like the speed run version of life game design. But if you don't know how to create a day dashboard from scratch, and you don't know how to organize your day, organize your week, and all those kind of things, that is what the mini games is for. And that is what we'll be covering in the next section of this. Okay, let's go into the mini games. Now, all of these frameworks, OctaCore, the achievement system, and the mini games themselves are things that you won't find in any other productivity or self-improvement system. But if I were to choose just one, I would do the mini games. This is the best feature of life game design. And basically, it will show you step by step in how to design a fulfilling life. Basically, it follows this pattern. You do a vision, you create a vision of what you want to achieve in the future, you do a design of what you're going to implement right at this moment, then you figure out what you're focusing on. We talked about focus areas in the OctaCore intention before. We're going to focus on exactly one thing and we're going to achieve it as fast as possible. And then we go into the reflection stage. And in reflect, we reflect on our achievements and gain insights from the wins we had and the mistakes we made so that we can complete the loop again and go back into design and keep repeating that whole loop of self-improvement. Design, focus, reflect. So in the light version of life game design, it looks like this. You have the vision games, which teach you about creating an OctaCore vision, a tier list vision board. Then you'll do the day designs, and you'll go into focus room and the OctaCore course, and finally finish with day reflections. Basically, life game design light gives you everything that you need to manage the day-to-day. If you want to be able to manage your weeks and beyond, that's the pro and the ultra version. But honestly, for a free template compared to all the other free templates you have available in Notion, this is the only one that will give you a completely comprehensive system to do all these things. So let's just cover quickly what each minigame shows us, and basically the value that we're getting out of doing each of these things. Obviously, the first thing that you want to do in thinking about designing a fulfilling life is thinking of a great future, because obviously you haven't achieved the goals that you want to achieve yet. So we have to think, okay, what do I actually value out of these things? That's why we don't just think of a great future because that's what it feels like. We digitize our vision, so we don't have to constantly think about all these goals we have. We have it there and we let life game design do the work for us for keeping it in place. And so the next step is doing a design, because even though you have all of these like great and lofty ideas, those are things that you're going to do next year. Those are things that you're going to do 5 years from now. You haven't achieved anything yet. So we need to design something that will set us up to win, not to fail. And that's what game designers do really well. They don't tell you about all these lofty things that you'll be doing and after like weeks of gameplay. They show you what you can get right now. And so we need to do the same for our lives. And so with the design games over here, we want to be able to live a life by design, not by default. Because as you can see visualized here, we have less chance to do the things that we love if we don't plan. Again, one of the biggest lessons that I learned from my professional career as a chef is that the more organized you are, the easier your life will be. And I failed at learning that lesson constantly throughout my career as a chef. And I constantly saw the guys around me, even though I tried to work twice as hard, 3 times as hard as the senior chefs that were above me, because I wasn't organized, I was wasting all my time because I thought just pure brute force effort was enough to get me to the level of them. But then all I see them do, they act like they're, completely calm, cool, and collected, even though there's absolute chaos in the kitchen. And then I finally realized the only difference between me and them is that they organized everything beforehand, where I was just trying to brute force myself into being as productive as they were. Going into focus, this is about setting a focus intention. And again, when I talked about the OctaCore attributes, it's kind of like if you were to try improve all of those things at once, it's kind of like just driving and coasting along. But if you set a focus intention, if you choose maybe 1 to 3 things max to absolutely dial your focus into, you will achieve so much exponentially compared to what you could be doing if you were to try to elevate everything at once, you know, carrying this massive load instead of just like rocketing your progression in these specific areas of life. And you'll learn about that in the OctaCore course here. You'll set your own intention with the focus intention game because, like I said, I can't tell you what that focus should be in your life. You need to figure it out by yourself, and you can use OctaCore to do that. And then you've got this focus room here, which is really cool. It's like a Pomodoro style room. And we'll be doing that a bit later in the tour where you can have your projects here. You've got a little timer. It looks a bit scrunched up there, so we'll open that in full page later to see the best out of it. And finally, if we go into the last section over here, which is reflect, this is the graphic that kind of summarizes what I've been talking about this whole time. This is all of the amazing things that you've achieved, and this is all you give yourself credit for. And I think that's absolutely criminal because, again, you have this undeniable stack of proof that you're not showing yourself. And if you had this, you would realize how much you're actually improving, and that would motivate you to do more. Another amazing feature of video games. And so now what we do is that because I've actually got this feedback from the testers of the first versions of this app, it's like when you have all of this stuff unlocked for you right at the outset, you kind of get this feeling of like, oh my god, where do I start? Even though I've laid these out in the order that you play them. So what I did is that on top of having these minigame cycle infographics here to show you exactly what to do, I've actually fully gamified the experience and made it so that you have to unlock these things. You have to play the game to unlock the next stage. And so when you first come to this page, this is all you see, and this is what it forces you to go into. So in the next section of this, let's dive into the vision. So what we're going to do right now to end off this tour in the best way possible is to speed run these mini games so you see exactly what you'll be getting and exactly the kind of things that you can do and learn through the process of this self-improvement cycle. Let's go straight into vision over here. And then it will ask us to choose our game mode. Now, these are all the vision game modes, and you can see that these are locked. So that means our first choice is the vision over here. And so I can open this game guide to understand, you know, why should I make a vision board? And basically, it's about understanding the difference between distraction and action. You know, all of these things that you want to achieve aren't so clear because you haven't chosen exactly what actually matters to you. Let's figure out what that practically means. Let's go into the OctaCore vision board. And just like in the tutorials, everything starts with a basic page to help you understand what we're going to be doing and shows you the layout of the process of these mini games. So if I click this toggle here, I'll understand more about all these different sections. In Brainstorm, we'll be using a digital whiteboard to identify our vision for each OctaCore attribute. And in Vision, we're going to be utilizing our different vision board in different ways. And in Relax, we'll add this minigame as an achievement and choose what to do next. The coolest thing about all of these minigames is that by completing them, they become achievements in themselves. So like it says, we can click the Brainstorm navigation button to begin. But before that, I'll just show you every single minigame has its own dedicated guide where I walk you through step by step. I know that, you know, doing these things alone can be kind of like boring and weird. And so every time you come to a minigame, you can click the guide button and get a follow along tutorial if you want to do it with me. And I explain even more nuance that I can like fit into, you know, such a short session as this tour guide. But let's keep steaming along. We'll go into Brainstorm. And now all of this is like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? But if I click this, it will tell me, first it will show me the mini guides. It will give me a walkthrough. So I have like literal step-by-step guide, just like how you would have like a game guide. Then you even have tips. And coolest thing here is that you have database view explanations. It'll tell me what the hell is going on here and down here. So I don't have to know anything off by heart. But the most important thing that I put here is that if this is confusing to you, it means that you skipped the Notion tutorial course. So please don't be like a typical gamer and skip the tutorial, because this is a game that you want to play the tutorial on. And I made it really fun for you guys, so I think you'll enjoy it anyways. And by doing the tutorial, you create achievements for yourself. Anyways, basically what we want to do here, and you don't have to know OctaCore off by heart to do this, is that you want to figure out what does your dream life look like? You know, 5, 10 years into the future, whatever. The only reason we want to do this is that we want to figure out what our true values are, what really, you know, pulls us towards making achievements that we can be proud of, and what achievements would we be proud of if we could complete them. So you can see that we've got this digital whiteboard that shows us all of these areas, and if you click these prompts, it'll tell you, you know, what kind of achievements you want to log in here. Again, in the video guide, I guide you step by step through understanding that. But just for the sake of this, I've already added some things. So in experience, you could be like doing things that you would be wanting to do in the future that would really inspire you. One thing I'd love to do is a boys Bali trip. I've got a Japan trip coming up myself, you know, having a dream house, getting a new car, whatever. And obviously there's going to be more intrinsically fulfilling things and more extrinsically fulfilling things, and things that mean a lot to you in terms of like, you know, getting a 100 kg bench press or like running a full marathon for the first time. These things are, you know, nuanced. As you can see, I've left some of them empty because you don't have to have a vision for everything. It's just kind of like what really calls to you. And that's the most important thing we want to do with this exercise. So once you have all of your things listed over here, what you can do is actually see them down here in your vision board. And you'll see, you know, what are the areas of life that are really calling to you? Because whatever's empty means that, you know, it doesn't really matter to me. And that's fine. The biggest thing about the system is that you don't have to max every stat. Game of Life is not the game that you think it is. I've got a video at the end that will explain that further in depth, but let's carry on with this speed run. And so now we're going to go into the envision section. So once we finish that brainstorm, now we just get to appreciate all of the things we've done. We can see it in different ways. So we can see this in a gallery instead. So I can just organize all of the bucketed projects that I have to do with strengths. And I can also see this in a list format. And so that's pretty much it for the vision board. And the biggest thing that you'll get out of this is, like I said, seeing exactly what things will actually motivate you to get more done in the present moment. And now we go on to the last section, which is just to relax. And in this stage, at the end of every minigame, I add this relax stage, or it'll be called something else. But at the end, all you do is add the minigame, the completion of it as an achievement, and then you can see it. And now you can see that it's automatically given you the status as achieved, and the date has been set to today. And then it will prompt you to do what's next in the minigame cycle. So you'll see exactly like, okay, I'm in vision, now I need to go to design. Or I'll need to stay in vision because I actually have to unlock the tier list vision board. So I click this button over here, like it says, it's got these instructions that are very clear to help you understand this. So if I click that, you'll see that it unlocks the tier list vision board here, and then I can click it to go straight there. And so what we're doing now is that now we have the OctaCore version of our vision board. Now we want to learn to apply a tier list to it, because again, there's all these things that we want to do in life, but they don't really matter unless they actually matter to us. So first we learn about the tier list. We've got the diamond over here. Diamond achievements are the most memorable. Gold, amazing highlights. Silver is things that are a bit more meaningful, but bronze is the base level. You'll learn a lot more about that, and if you ever forget this stuff, you've got it in the tier list mini guide over here. And yeah, after that you go to envision, a similar view to what we were looking at before with the previous mini game in the OctaCore section, but now we're going to organize by tier list. It's a bit easier to see if I do it by this list here, and now I can see and rank all of these new things. So honestly, like, let's think about it. My dream house, getting a new car, all these things are like low level things. I'm not a very materialistic person, but something like hitting a 100 kg bench press, like working towards that thing, is something that will truly fulfill me. So this already tells me that I don't need all of this money to have a fulfilling life. I just need to, you know, achieve the things that really, really resonate with me, basically. That's what you'll get from this exercise. So you'll want to do your own things here, but let's go into the relax section so we can complete this tier list vision board as an achievement. And we've got it over here, set the date, that's cool. And now we can see the next cycle. So in the Pro version, what you'll do is unlock the Ultimate Vision Board and combine them together. But in the Lite version, what we're going to do is press this button as it says, proceed to unlock the design minigames. Now in the design minigames, we want to speed run, testing what our day-to-day looks like and making that fulfilling. Click that, it'll take me to the end of the Ultimate Vision Board where we would unlock it naturally, and it just tells you to follow the instructions. So if I come here, what I need to do is that I can see that the unlocked minigames is just vision, and if I look at all of the minigames, I can see that design, focus, and reflect are locked. And all I have to do is click this button to unlock the design minigames. It'll pop up here, and I can click this button to go straight there. Just before that, I want to show you that over here, you've got the minigame cycle telling you exactly where you are and what you should be doing next. And so, yeah, we're going exactly into vision to design. So let's hit that button. Okay, we are in design time. Now, again, you can see all of the minigames. You can see that we've got the weeks, we've got months, seasons, and years. These are all ultra features. Weeks is part of the pro features. What we have now is the day designs for Lite. And so think about, again, if you want to come to the game guide, you think about why should I spend time designing? If we design our day, that means we move from confusion into clarity. And the amount of time we spend designing means that we get an even greater exponential amount of time of clarity. So if we spend, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes organizing our day, that means we get almost 24 hours of clarity. With day design, you can either choose to design today or tomorrow. The best thing that you could do in using this app is design a day ahead. It's one of the things that I picked up from Ed Milet, and he says the most productive thing that you could ever do is design a day ahead. But we're just going to speed run doing the today design just for this tutorial. And we're going to basically follow the steps in the minigame. All we have to do is follow these pages linearly, and then we can basically create a day dashboard like this by organizing our projects and tasks. So again, you've got your video guide over here that's going to guide you step by step through doing this. And over here is a detailed walkthrough of what all of these sections are, blah, blah, blah. You'll see that by yourself in your own time. First step is shown here, which is actually clicking the rewind button. And basically what I want to do is show myself everything that I've achieved, and if I haven't achieved a lot, it'll inspire me to be like, okay, I need to really put some work in and do more. But if I have achieved a lot, it's like, okay, I want to like maintain this level of achievement. I want to keep on striving towards these goals that I keep on achieving and see more of these things and see more in my OctaCore board and see more fulfilling achievements, especially in my tier list over here. So this is just a place for you to like ease into the design process, and the next level that we'll be going to does the same. With Align, what we want to be doing is figuring out what is the most important thing that we need to do today, and what would the best version of yourself do today. That's using this journal. You can also do a bit of a mind dump, like what's on your mind, just take all of that stuff out and get it digitized, and then you can just do a gratitude journal of these things. Now, there's some really cool things here. Again, because you won't remember OctaCore off by heart, you've got the OctaCore mini guide right here for you to remind you. And the coolest thing about this is that it uses a checkbox system that kind of helps you think about like, what would today's fulfilling thing be, like in terms of all these different areas. So like, if your goal for today is just like, I just need to go to the gym and clean my room, that's cool. You know exactly what you're doing, and you don't have to feel bad about not doing all of these things. You've got to set your focus intention, which you'll learn in the OctaCore course. But like I said, intelligence has been set for you, Notion has been set for you, and the Notion course has been set for you as a project. Basically, this is what you're going to be focusing on for this season of your life, and you can ignore everything else. And you can even choose your own things once you get to setting your own one. Maybe you already learned Notion, you can replace this and be like, you know what, I need to work on my physical health because I let myself go a bit. And then you can have this to remind you every time you do your day design. I'm going to reset that to intelligence, and we can carry on. And at the bottom of this page, this is really cool. Before you get into your day design, you can remind yourself of your vision over here. And you can show yourself, okay, this is what I like set out to do in the next 5 years. I want to make sure my day aligns to making just that one little step further into completing those goals. So we can exit out of there. At the bottom, we can go into the next stage, which is projects. So this is the same bar as the top, but since we're scrolling down, we don't have to go back up. We're in projects, and this is getting into the actualization of what we're going to be achieving for today. So over here, you've got an explanation telling you everything that's going on here. Like I said, you've got your mini guide, you've got the walkthrough, but I'm here to guide you, so let's do it together. Over here, you've got a simple notepad just to jot down stuff, whatever. And these buttons are really cool. If you delete it, you can just create a new one with this button. And the same with the journal. This journal will help you figure out what are your top priorities. And if you've got like someone's birthday coming up, you can put these all into your projects. So over here, I have an overdue project of learning life game design. And so I can deal with all my overdue projects. And if I use this button even to clear the date or set them to today's date, that will really help me find what's clear. But let's get rid of that. Let's clear all the dates. And that will keep them in our active tab. So that learn life game design, that's still here, but it's just into another thing. Now, these are the active status options for projects. I'm going to show you with the mini guide what that looks like. So over here, you've got projects tasks status. They are the same. I know a lot of like project and task managers, they have different status options, and that means you have to learn twice as more. But I wanted to make this as streamlined and simple as possible. So bucketed is everything that we're doing next year. Don't worry about it. That's your vision board. Awaiting, actioning, and focusing. Anything that's happening this year. Achieved. We've already done it. Archived. We don't want it to show on our achievements board. Simple as that. Okay. So now we can see our focusing, actioning, and awaiting things over here. And we can set the date of these to put them into today's projects. You'll see that since we've done the tier list vision board, and the OctaCore vision board, they already show up here. And so let's say all I need to do today, like I said, is meal prep, go to the gym. I'm going to set the date. You'll see it appear on here. And maybe like after I've done all these things, I want to kind of just chill out. I want to go watch Lord of the Rings. And now we have our thing set. And actually, let's say I forgot in this focusing section here, and let me just close this to get rid of the clutter. Now I have this dish that I have to work on for a work project. And I want to set that as something that I really need to do. And you'll see since it's focusing and it's urgent and important, this is the Eisenhower matrix simplified. Again, you'll see that in the mini guides. Now this is set to our highlight of the day. This little icon shows the highlight of the day, and it's the one thing that you want to dedicate this day to, apart from everything else. Even if I didn't do my meal prep, even if I didn't go to the gym, I would be proud if I just did this one thing. And it doesn't always have to do with purely productivity. It can be anything in any OctaCore attribute, but you'll learn about that yourself when you download the app. And so what we want to do next is organize the tasks that we have for today. And so what I did is that I broke down that project of, creating the dish for work into all of these tasks, so I can understand, what I need to do. And also same layout, I've got my overdue projects here and tasks. I've got my active projects, so I can see everything that's going on. And if this is too much, the thing is, like, if you think of all the tasks that you have to get done in your head, there is so many things that you could or should be doing, whatever. But if you try and keep track of that in your head, you're just wasting your mental energy. What you want to do is give a machine the work to do so you don't have to do the work. And that's exactly what we do here. So while this seems overwhelming, you don't have to worry about it. You can close this stuff because that's not what you're doing. That's exactly what this focusing tab is for. So at the moment, I've got this shopping on focusing. I need to do journaling tomorrow. That's tomorrow. And what we're doing right now is day design. But we're going to see that that automatically adds in as achievement once we finish this. And let's say I've got some side hustle work to do really quickly, which I'm doing in that big project that I set up. And now what I can do is go to the review section once I finished. And this review is really cool. It'll show you a complete day dashboard of everything that we've got going on, everything that we've already achieved. If I go to these different tabs, I can break it down. I can see that, the priority of when I should be doing these things. I can even see a calendar. So I think, like, honestly, maybe I don't have time to watch Lord of the Rings today because it's a pretty action-packed day. I'm going to do that for tomorrow. Let's chill a bit. And so I can easily drag and drop these things to organize that. And I've got the same for my tasks down here. Priority. I can see what time of day I'm going to do these things. So I can quickly be like, okay, all of this stuff is going to be done in the afternoon. And then I've got my shopping in the evening and my side hustle thing. I'd get that done really quick in the morning. I can also see an OctaCore breakdown of what my day is going to look like in terms of tasks. If you have a lot on, this would be a lot more filled, but it kind of just keeps you accountable, which is really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the day design speed run. When you do this yourself, it's going to take you like 5 minutes max. But then, like I said, you get 24 hours of clarity just from 5 minutes, which is really valuable. Once you finish this, remember that every minigame completes as an achievement. So a complete day design. And now, like I said, it says we've gained 24 hours of clarity. Today won't just be a great day. We've designed it to be one. So this has been added as a intelligence task achievement. I can continue. And now I can choose which game to play next. And like I said, in the pro version of Life Game Design, you'll unlock the weak designs and do that. But in the light version, we're going to unlock the focus minigames because you can see we go from design to focus. So if I click this button, it's going to unlock the end game of this week designs because that's what you would do in pro. And it's going to let us unlock the focus mini games over here. So let's do that. Now we've got the focus games unlocked and we can see the first game that you would play in the focus mini games is the OctaCore course. So let's click this button to go straight there. And now we can see OctaCore Course is unlocked, and I won't dive into that now. I'm going to go to the end of it because I want to show you the focus room. So in the light version, you get both the course and the focus room. The pro version gives you the game to, guide you step by step through setting your own focus intention. And so if I go into the OctaCore and focus intention course, let me do it in this side. Cool. I can see I've got all of these levels up here that guides me through the process of understanding, OctaCore itself. And if I go into level 1, basically what you do is open up these toggles in order of the number, and you'll just get insights on all these different things. And it will tell you step by step and really in bite-sized chunks about the frameworks that are within OctaCore and Life Game Design and all of the, books and podcasts they are inspired by. But let's speed run this. I'm just going to cheat and go to the end of this because I already know about OctaCore. Like I said, you've got the video guide if you want to do that instead, where I guide you step by step through it. What you have to do is complete the course because remember, every mini game you do is an achievement in itself. So I can see that it's popped up here. And now I go into following the instructions for the light version. Normally we would be going to the focus intention game because we just learned about a focus intention. In the light version, what we want to do is go to the focus room over here. This is really cool. If I just give you an overview of this, you've got a Pomodoro timer here. You can see your projects that you have in focus for today. And you can also have this little session subtasks. So you can break down your, project that you're doing into smaller tasks. You have your notes that you can reference over here. So if you've got any notes that you need to reference during your focus session, you can do that. I'll just start the timer to pretend that we're going in on this. You've got your tasks over here. And so this will show you, I can add this and it will instantly add a task with today's date and set it to focusing. So we saw these status options before and they're the same for both projects and tasks, and even notes has a focus status. So if we put everything in there, we can see everything that is in focus. Projects in focus, we can see notes in focus, and even tasks in focus with today's date. And so we can literally, I'm going to say it again, hone in our focus to get all of the things that we need to do done. If you know about the Pomodoro technique, if you know about Deep Work by Cal Newport, it combines all of them and applies game design to it. So this is the ultimate way to get your deep work done. If it's for work projects, if it's for school, if it's for university, you can come here and get all of that done. And like I said, since we're applying the philosophy of game design, every time you complete a focus session, you get this little pop-up. It adds the focus session itself as an achievement. I'm just going to show you really quick. In the achievement section over here, you can see everything you've done today for these things. You can see day designers there because we did that before. And if I hit this button again, let's say I did a 30-minute session. This is really cool. I can get this quick review pop-up. And this will guide me into Did I set a clear goal? How focused was I? This kind of helps you keep track of whether you're being productive with your focus sessions or not, because it's very easy to spend a lot of time in the focus room, but you don't know if you're actually getting the output that you want from it, because that's something that I have a problem with, is that I'll just sit in front of my computer and think I'm doing a lot of work, but I'm just like wasting time and not getting essential tasks done. So using these checkboxes, you'll figure out whether you have like laser focus, whether you have high energy and all these things. And when you finish, again, with all these kind of things, you delete it and you can create a new one really easily with a button. And let's go back to focus room 1. There's some really cool features that I've set up for you in here. You even have a get help focusing page where you will understand the reasons why you're getting distracted or why you don't have energy. And it will give you the causes. And if you open the cause, it will give you an explanation and a solution and even a resource to help you do it. Pretty much all the resources are from Andrew Huberman because he's just the GOAT of these kind of topics. But please don't procrastinate in that section. Please just use what's there and apply it instantly instead of just going to be in like the rabbit hole of Andrew Huberman or whoever like this productivity guru is. Just do the work. Anyways, let's go back to the focus room. Focus room 2 is the same exact layout. Own timer. You don't need to worry about having that timer there. It can be a distraction. So I gave you this. And one of the coolest features of the focus room, another very important point in Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, is that before you get into deep work, you have to design deep work. You have to figure out what you're going to be focused on so you can get it done. Again, to make it easy for you to figure out what to focus on and to know exactly what you need to do, you've got the step-by-step system, which takes you through your projects. You can choose a project that you're going to focus on today. Let's do an example. Again, you've got your active projects here. You can set the date to today and make sure it's in focusing and it will appear here. And if I was really diligent, I would open this project itself and then I would create tasks in it. And there's even this today focus tab. We can instantly have the status set to focus and the date set to today, so it will appear. I'll show you what that looks like. Focus room example. So if I click out of that and we go into tasks, you're going to see it pop up in the tasks section. So yeah, you can see focus room example is here. And I had a task that wasn't attached to the project that I set. I can just drag and drop it into here, and then it will automatically set it to my focus task, which is really handy. All right. And so now we can also go into notes, and notes is a feature of Life Game Design Pro, but just for the focus room, I've given you guys special access to this. We can see any notes that would help us for our focus session. And let's say we're redesigning our Notion page for some reason. We can use this gift covers collection, and that will appear here. And so we can reference that note all throughout our focus session really easily. And the coolest thing is that once you go into review, now we can see our day focus dashboard. So we have all our focus projects, tasks, and notes. So we can see like, okay, are we ready to get into the session? And once we are, we click this. Already you have an achievement because setting up your focus session is an achievement in itself and a very important step. That's why I made it like that. And now you can click, I'm ready to focus. You can go back to the focus room. You can close your achievements. You don't need distraction. You just need to see your projects that you're focusing on, your tasks, and then you can start breaking this down and starting that timer going into it. Okay, that's really awesome. Now let's pretend we finished this. We also have a focus achievement. So once we're done focusing for the day, we can add a project achievement to represent all of the focus sessions that we did. So let's say we completed 4 focus sessions. We did 2 hours of deep work. Then we can have this as a, project to represent this for the day. And so what we do after the focus room is that, again, everything is in levels. Everything is gamified and follows the philosophy of game design. We go into a shutdown routine at the end. And basically, it allows you, if you forgot before, you can add that focus achievement like we just did. But I'll just get rid of that now. And now you can choose which game to play next. And like I said, every step in this will show you what you need to do next or what you could do next. And so that really builds into the addictive nature of, achieving and managing in your life. So that's kind of what we want to get to. We want to enjoy the management of our lives and make it more like a game, and we don't want to have to make it feel like a chore, you know? So once we've finished with focus, we unlock the reflect minigames, and by doing this, we will automatically unlock day reflections. So let's go into day reflections, which is the last minigame, the last part of the speed run. And so again, the whole point of this is that this is what you've achieved, and this is what you give yourself credit for. So we're going to reflect on today because it's been a mad day. We've done deep work. We've built our whole life game design. We've done the Notion tutorial. We've done all this kind of stuff. And we want to gain insights from how we felt about doing these things using a day achievements board like this. So again, the first step in both reflection and design is rewind. You want to appreciate all the things that you've done ages ago. This will show you every achievement in a reverse chronological order. So I skipped that because I've already been like, okay, I know what I did. We'll go into review. And this gives you a chance before you go into the actual reflection. It helps you organize everything, because let's say I come into reflect, I forgot to add this as achieved. I can do that. Or I can use this really cool button here. Let's say I completed everything here, but meal prep and going to the gym is still not achieved. I can use this button to automatically set them to achieve like that. Saves a lot of time. And I can also see a OctaCore breakdown. Or if I haven't set an OctaCore, I can easily do that here by clicking the button. This is creativity. Oh, sorry, this is contribution because it's to do with my work. And now I can see it pop up here. We'll get a better view of this later, but this is just for the sake of organizing these things to get ready for the reflection. So again, I can use this button to set all of these tasks as achieved. I'm going to get rid of the focus room example and this random thing. But yeah, I did all of these things, and I can just press this button, and now they're all in the achieved status. The next step is going on to reflect. And so this is the actual part where you're going to gain insight from all these things that you've been doing. So over here, I can see a list of all the projects that I've achieved today. If I set it to awaiting, it won't appear here, but let me just undo that. So I can see all of my projects I've achieved today. I can see the highlight that I chose for today, and I can even see which OctaCore areas I had achievements in. So it will hide everything else. As you can see, there are 4 hidden groups here, and it will only show me what I did achieve in. And it's the same kind of view for tasks. You've got all the tasks you did, and you've got a OctaCore breakdown of the ones that you did. And if they don't have an OctaCore, you can quickly change them here. Doing this is all creativity. Boom. Okay, so what we want to do in this section here is think about how was today's highlight and was it a realistic goal? If I got it done, then obviously I achieved and gave myself a clear goal. Or maybe you didn't set a highlight and you didn't achieve the goal. You want to explain how it went and why. And this will give you the insight into understanding how you can do this better next time. Again, in the minigame cycle, we want to have our reflections so we can better create a new design. So this journal will help you do that. It also will ask you if today's achievements matched your focus intention, because sometimes you have completed other obligations and that's fine, but overall you want to make sure that your focus intention is the thing that you are making progress to, at least daily, in a very, very small way if possible. Even if it's just like 1 minute of reading a day or whatever, you just want to make sure that you are on the right path. Okay, so let's get rid of that because I want to speed run this. We've taken a lot of time with this tour. Let's go to relax, and now this is it. This is the last bit. So this is where, okay, let's follow this step by step. We've completed the day reflection, so obviously the day reflection gets given to you as a minigame, and it will actually prompt you to go to the design minigames after, because that's the next in the cycle, but we'll leave that for now. We'll look at our day achievements board, and this is really cool. We can see all of the projects that we've done, all of the tasks that we've done, and a lot of guys in the community actually screenshot this and they show me like what they've been up to, and we can like, you know, encourage each other to do more, or be like, oh, what did you do today with that friend or whatever? Did you go hang out? Did you do some meal prep? And just congratulate each other on all of the small and the big wins that we're having. Okay, so now we're going to choose which game to play next, because now we can see that we've completed a whole cycle. We've gone from vision, design, focus to reflect, and now we go loop back to design. The thing is with vision is that it's kind of something that you want to set one time, and it's kind of like a set and forget activity. But if you come back to this in maybe like a year, maybe your values have changed, your vision has changed, you want to update that. But generally, for the shorter periods of time, you want to follow this gameplay loop of design, focus, and reflect. So this button here, very shiny button, it will add the achievement that you finished the whole minigame loop. But I'm not going to do it because I have left a really special thing at the end of there for you guys to discover yourself. And so I'm going to go back to the minigame center and back to the dashboard, because that is pretty much it. That is the whole tour. That is not even the whole tour because I didn't go in depth on everything, but that is pretty much everything that you need to know about Life Game Design and Life Game Design Lite. Let me know in the comments which feature you're most excited for, or which feature that you want me to do a deep dive on, because I can't wait to show you more of this. And so I'm going to call it there. That's a wrap. I'll see you guys in the community. Oh crap, there's one more promise that I made to you that I haven't kept yet. Even though everything about this app screams gamification, that is the exact thing that I'm trying to avoid. If you have ever felt like you've wasted your life on video games, watch this video to understand why your love for gaming is actually your greatest advantage, and I'll also clarify the difference between gamification and life game design. Or you can check out the full tour of Life Game Design Pro.